Hey guys, Crazy Postman here. I wanted to come to you real quick and let you know of a little problem I have here having an electric vehicle in southwest Oklahoma. So there is no fast chargers in my city, and there is no fast chargers in my parents' city. And on Sundays, I always go visit my parents, and normally it's not such a big deal because I charge my car to 90% every night, and when I go see my parents, I get home at about 30%. Let me show you here. So you can see here I'm sitting at about 32%. So like I said, I charge my car to 90% every day already. And going to my parents and back usually takes me down to about 30%. Well, today something has happened. I'm basically back at my house. You can see over there's the Air Force Base. I am just about to pull back into Altus. And I got a phone call, and they want me to come to a birthday party for one of my little baby relatives. And that sounds fun. Of course I want to go to that. But I don't have enough battery to get back now. So what I'm going to try to do, I'm supposed to be there at 4, and it's 2:45 right now. It takes about 45 minutes for me to get there, so I won't have much charging time at my house. So right now, I have 62 miles of range, and I need 80 miles to be able to get to my house and back, because it's about 40 to 42 miles one way. So I'm gonna plug in my driveway as soon as I get home and see if I can't get a little bit, just anything will help. And I'll try to stay as long as I can until, I have to leave to be on time. And then when I get to my parents' house, I'm gonna I got some extension cords I'll show you real quick when I get to my house. And I'm gonna try to plug into their dryer outlet and charge my car while I'm at the birthday party. And hopefully that level 2 charging, along with the little level 2 I'm gonna get at my house, will be enough for me to get back home at the end of the night. Now, this is just something I have to deal with driving an electric vehicle. There's no fast charging available out here. So, once I run out of battery, I'm done. I can't go anywhere until I've had 6 to 8 hours to recharge my car. So, let me get to my driveway and I'll show you these extension cords and adapters I have, and we'll try to get enough juice to get back to my parents' house. Alright, so I've made it back to my driveway here. There's my charger right there. I'm going to jump out real quick and get that plugged in. But I just had another thought to share with you real quick. So my whole trip, I've gotten here and I have 31%. And it is summertime, 98 degrees. So something I just thought about, when it comes wintertime and I lose 20 to 30% of my efficiency, I may be in trouble, because 30% is not gonna cut it. If I lose 30% of that efficiency, well, there's my buffer right there. When I had my Tesla, I could go there and back. In the summertime, I would have 50%, and in the wintertime, I would get back with 30%. Well, I just realized in the summertime with the Mach-E, I'm getting back with 30%. So when wintertime gets here, it might get interesting. I may have trouble. I might not be able to drive this car in the winter. I might have to trade it in and get a longer range car. That's just something I just now realized. I'm realizing that here live with y'all. So right now, as it is, it looks like I'm 20 miles in the hole. So I need to get this plugged in. I only got about 15 to 30 minutes to stay here, depending on how late I want to be to the party. might not have a choice. So let's hop out and get this plugged in. All right, let's get this plugged in. Got my Tesla tap here because I still have my original Tesla installation here, and it works really good. So this thing's gonna click on and start giving me some juice. Let me go ahead and pop the hood here, and I'll show you my extension cords and adapters that I have. So here's my extension cord. You can see that's a NEMA 1450. So I'm gonna plug this into their dryer outlet, and I'll plug my mobile EVSE into this end. You see I carry another little Tesla tap here in the car with me and various adapters. So this is a RV adapter to NEMA 1450. Down here is a generator adapter to NEMA 1450, but this is the one I'm going to need today. This is my parents' dryer socket plug, and this is a NEMA 1450 at the other end. Now, something I have to do is I have to lower the amperage on my EVSE to less than 30 amps because this is only a 30 amp socket in the wall, and there is no way to do that. Oh, this is a anti-rodent. They don't like that smell. It keeps mice out from under my car. Well, anyway, and that's referencing some previous videos. I've had horrible mice problems. You can search those out. But anyway, back to this. The factory Ford EVSE, there is no way to limit the power. So the one that comes with my car, I can't use at my parents' house because it will overload that breaker and trip it. The only way I can charge at my parents' house is if I take the Electron 32 amp EVSE, because you can lower it to 16 amps or even less than that. I don't remember what the numbers are. I think it's 32, 16, and something much lower, maybe 7 or 6. So let me go ahead and get things figured out here. Get that Electron EVSE from my spare bedroom. Let the doggy go potty, and then I guess I'll be heading back to town. Hopefully we'll it'll definitely be enough to get me to my parents' house. We'll just have to see how long I have to stay there plugged into their dryer outlet. Remember, I can only get 16 amps from that, so we'll see what happens. It's been about 30 minutes. Let's see how much power we've made here. So we have 78 miles of range, and really what I need is 80 to be safe. So even if I can't charge at my mom and dad's, I should be able to make it, even if because I can always slow down and go 55 instead of 70. So let's go ahead and get Duck loaded up here in his car seat. No, buddy, you're in the back. Oh wait, your car seat's not in there. All right, you ready to go? Get in the car. So we got his car seat in there now, and the car is nice and safe. Yeah, because he's a good boy. He's gonna lay there, and we're gonna go see Mimi and Papa. All right, so we're back on the road now, and I wanted to come to you real quick and just show you kind of like my starting numbers again. So 36%, 73 miles of range. We've been out on the road for a few miles now, but here on the computer screen, it tells me I'm going to have a 16% arrival. So we'll see how accurate that is when I get there. That means I am gonna have to charge a few percent to get home. I think the bare minimum I can have to leave their house and make it home is 20%, but that is like getting home with like 0 miles. I just found something that I think Ford needs to address. So down here you got, it says 412 on one side and 3.87 miles on the other side. those are customizable. So you can click on them and choose from a list of things that you want it to display. So you can say that, you can change it to arrival time, various different things. One of the things that should be displayed is the estimated arrival of your battery. In a Tesla, you can get to that pretty easy by pulling down the menu, and then at the bottom it'll tell you what your arrival estimation is. You can get that same information in the Ford by pressing this. You can see there at the top of the screen that it estimates 16%. The thing I'm saying is, why isn't that 16% one of the options for down here? That would be an excellent idea to be able to put down there, just so you'll know by a glance what your estimated arrival percentage is, instead of going through pushing an extra button. So that is just my thoughts, and I am just a few miles away from my parents' house. I'll check back in with y'all in just a second. Alright, so checking in at my parents' house, I have 34 miles of range and 17%. So it was 40 miles to get here, so I'm short 6 miles of range. Now, let's go ahead and let me tell the nav that I want to go home, and maybe it'll give me a estimated arrival percentage here. Recharge required for trip. Let's not add one. Okay, details. So it says I will get home with 0%. I wonder if that shows negative numbers. That's something I don't know. If it's less than 0, does it always just show 0? So I definitely need to charge either way, because I'm 41 miles away and I have 34 miles of range. So you can see where I'm at here and where I have to go to get home. So I am just a little bit short. Dang you, DC fast charging infrastructure. So let's go ahead and we'll get the let's see here, we'll get this charging cable out of the front and go ahead and get her plugged in and see how much juice I can get. Now remember, I have to derate this a little bit because this is a 32 amp charger, EVSE, and I'm plugging it into a 30 amp wall outlet. So I don't know the settings on this charger, but I do know I need to lower it just a little bit. So let's go ahead and get my cables out and see what I can do. Here's how you adjust the amperage on this thing here. You just hit these plus and minus buttons here, and then you can say 10, 13, 16, or 32. So I'm going to go down to 16, and let's go ahead and plug it in and see if it works. There was just enough cable to reach out here without me having to like pull into the garage. So I recommend everybody get one of those NEMA 1450 extension cords. I think mine's 25 feet. It certainly came in handy a couple times. And we are charging. As soon as I plugged it in, I heard the charger click over here. Okay, I figured it out, and we are now up to full power. I hadn't actually selected 16. Now it's selected, and we are good to go. Just one final check-in here. I'm just getting ready to leave. Looks like we've been going for 2 hours and 11 minutes, and we've got 7.9 kilowatt hours. So let's go out to the car. Alright, we're having quite the party here. We got cars all over the place. Let's check this out. We're up to 28% and 54 miles, so that should be good enough to be able to make it home. Now, if you remember, we only needed 41 or 2 miles to get home, and if you look here, it now says we will get home with 6%. So that is good enough for me. Let's go ahead and button things up and get on the road. So I was wrapping up my extension cords and I saw this. Figured I should show everybody. I've only used this Electron Mobile EVSE a few times, and the wire has already pulled out of the plug here. So just thought I should point that out to everybody, since I did a review of this unit and I recommended it. This is kind of concerning. Actually, you know, I'm not too worried because these are pretty real world miles. The Ford Mustang Mach-E, let me turn on my blinker there. Anyway, the GOM on the Mach-E does seem like it's more real world miles and not so much like Tesla miles, if you know what I mean. So when it says I can go 54 miles, I really believe it. So we're gonna get out on the highway now, and I will check in with y'all one final time when I hit my driveway. This is where having a really shiny car, you either are in the sun, but you put the visor up, but then you're still in the sun because it's reflecting off your shiny hood. Well, now it's basically right in my face. But that's not why I wanted to come to you. So now I only got one direction I can go. We're still 14 miles from my house, but all DC fast chargers are now unreachable. So I don't have an option but to go home. I mean, I was going home anyway, but now my options are much more limited. Uh-oh, canceled. I gotta manually drive now. The sun finally killed the co-pilot, but it's really hard for it to drive in these conditions. It did see that speed limit change sign though. Well, we're just about coming into the edge of town now. I still have 14 miles of range and 7% battery, so doing pretty good. You can see that the Air Force Base is just over there. Thank goodness for this car in front of me, or I wouldn't be able to see the stoplight. That is ridiculous sun. It is literally on the road in front of me. All right. Oh my goodness. I can't even see. There's a road up there somewhere. And a car. All right, guys. Well, here we are in the driveway. Made it back with 11 miles of range and 5% battery. So the Ford GOM is very accurate. I'm pretty sure it said I was going to get back with 11 miles the whole time. Thanks for watching this episode. We're going to go inside and take it easy for the rest of the night, and I will see y'all in the next one.